Hi, 295 students. This is Dr. Julie Quinn, a NOVA English professor here, and I'd like to review with you the GSO's Grants.gov website. This is part of one of your assignments in Module 1, and it's a great website to sort of orient yourself to where you can find grants, ones that professional workers in the DMV area will probably be fairly familiar with at some point in their career, especially if they work for a nonprofit organization or if they work for like a defense contractor, et cetera, et cetera. So, on this website, this is one of the links that you have in Module 1, and it's got a lot of resources that I think will help you peruse the site, and you can take the information you glean from this website and continue to search for grants outside of the government if you wish. You'll note on this website, this is the link that you've got here, you can get an overview of the types of grants that they've got. You want to make sure that you are eligible before applying, certainly, because when people tend to apply for grants, they don't want to be automatically rejected for some reason. So you want to make sure that if you're going to do all the work in building a grant or even writing a letter of inquiry, that you've got you've sort of met all of those stipulations. On this site, you can also search federal grants that align with the work, perhaps work that you've done in a previous workplace or even work that you're currently doing. But just be careful. For this assignment, it's only a discussion. It's nothing that you're posting outside of our learning management system on Canvas. But make sure you're not using any proprietary information in putting together this quick letter of inquiry, and make sure that if you have some sort of special clearances, again, that you're not using any information that's considered privileged. You won't need to actually register, but the idea is to go through these first 3 sections, looking at the overview of the grants, making sure you've got the eligibility, because you always want to do that before you apply for anything, even though we're just practicing this, and of course, searching for the grants that align with your work. So when you click on the Learning Center site, you can see that there's a lot of information in here. Grants 101 is really nice because it has basics of the grant lifecycle and management. There are different laws and regulations surrounding these federal awards. There will be different ones if you apply for ones within the Commonwealth of Virginia, the state of Maryland, or even grants that are given by a nonprofit organization like the Ford Foundation. So definitely take the time to peruse some of this information here, especially if you want to click on grant terms. This is a wonderful A to Z, really nicely organized, and it will give you all of the information to help you interpret the types of grants that you would write that letter of inquiry for. Now, after you've searched that, I think it'd be a really good opportunity to click on the Search Grants option. Now, this is perhaps it seems at first glance an overwhelming link, but you can then add search criteria to narrow your search to something that's just a little bit more in your current business's or former business's wheelhouse, perhaps in a community area of interest. So say you're not working in the field and you're taking this proposal writing class to get a little bit more experience. Maybe there's a field of interest in the arts that you're hoping to get into, a nonprofit sort of arts agency. Or maybe you're working in healthcare and you're interested in looking at the category Affordable Care Act. So you can narrow by category, by actual agency. Definitely want to narrow it by grant, and you can also narrow it by, is this for all eligibilities? I would keep that one open for now and just sort of see what happens a little bit later on. Just keep in mind here that the purpose for creating your letter of inquiry, you're not actually writing an entire grant. So you're going to see when you click on some of these that there are going to be fairly involved grants. Let's take a look at one of them, and then I'll show you sort of what the difference is between what they're asking for and what you'll actually be doing. So here's a really interesting one that I was just sort of clicking on, and I went ahead and let me show you my search. The search that I did was I searched vaccine and COVID. I just thought, well, what could one be that we could kind of process together here? And let's take a look at the one that I clicked on and I found. So, just scrolling around, I saw this one, supporting vaccine confidence. Let's take a look at that one. Okay, so this is in the discretionary opportunity category. You can see that all the eligible applicants, this is going to be something that's important. You can imagine that you're representing, NOVA, so you could be eligible as a public or state-controlled institution of higher education, Northern Virginia Community College. If you work for a city or township government, say you currently work for a city or township government, say you work for a small business, Say you work in supporting one of the labs that does the blood testing for individuals. Say you work in a K-12, or maybe you work for a nonprofit health organization. So you can see how all the different types of eligible applicants. When you are creating your letter of inquiry, you just want to make sure that in the letter you represent an application category that the government wouldn't automatically dismiss. And when you're giving feedback to your peers, you're going to want to take a quick look at the eligibility category as well, just to sort of double check for that partner. Remember, you're working on a quote unquote team to make sure that they are eligible for this, because otherwise it's going to be a lot of wasted energy. You always want to make sure you follow those guidelines and stipulations to the letter. Now, so this description, this is the part you're probably going to want to also read extremely closely. The Department of Health and Human Services Office of Infectious Disease and HIV/AIDS Policy anticipates the availability of funds for projects to increase vaccine confidence among adults and children across the United States. Vaccines are the most effective public health interventions available, behind only access to clean water in terms of reducing the burden of infectious diseases. An essential pillar of success for national vaccine program is maintaining high rates of immunity in communities. To reach the necessary number of vaccinated individuals within a population for community immunity, like herd immunity, a high level of public trust in immunization systems, that is vaccine confidence, is needed. The initiative will enhance the work of local communities and their partnerships with immunization champions to identify, plan, implement, and evaluate evidence-based practices. So the projects that they would accept here will focus on improving confidence in 3 areas: confidence in the project, in the provider, and in the policy. Okay. We've got different groups here that are going to lead this initiative in partnership with the Office of Regional Health Operations, within the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Health. And of course, the OIDP is that Office of Infectious Disease and HIV/AIDS Policy. So say you work for a K-12 school district, you work for the local government, you work for a nonprofit in the DMV area, you work at NOVA. All of those sort of constituencies would have a sort of a need and desire for people to be vaccinated, to get kids in school and keep them healthy, to keep people in the workplace and keep them healthy, and so on and so forth. So you can see how applying for a small grant in this area supports the government's mission in keeping people vaccinated for herd immunity. And you can see how they would want to provide grants that instill confidence in the community. So that's the description of this. And your job will be to write that letter of inquiry you would write it right to Sean Dade. We've got the grantor contact information right here. So we would make it directed specifically to Sean Dade. And this would be a letter of inquiry you would send via email. So this is sort of the setup for the letter of inquiry. You do not have to use this example, but if you wanted to use this example, I mean, I certainly think it would be fine. You would definitely want to double check with your professor of the class on this. Part of the goal for this class is to really sort of familiarize you with the places where you can find grants and sort of how to find those needles in a haystack. Once you get onto the bigger websites, the federal government website's probably the biggest of them all. And if you can start to get comfortable weeding through and finding that needle in the haystack, it's going to get easier, especially easier to find local opportunities for grants as well. If you have any questions, reach out to your course professor, and good luck on your letter of inquiry.